Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and today's Thursday, which means it's viewer question and answer day. Recently, I've received a number of questions from people, kind of along the lines of, is it a good sign when? And really they're asking if there are key indicators that they would be moving forward or successful in the recruitment process. Now, there are three main categories that this question tends to fall under. And the first and most recent is if they get a response from a thank you letter. The second really common one is when you're being asked about salary and availability. And third is when next steps are discussed or brought up by the interviewer. Of course, the answer is it depends. So let's break down each one of these questions a little bit more detail to really see what they might mean. So the first one, is it a good sign when I get a positive response from a thank you letter? Well, it is a great sign and a great indicator that of the corporate culture, or at least of the attitude of the person who's sent you a response. Bottom line is, that's a pretty awesome person who would do that. Typically, thank you letters, they don't require a response, but if somebody takes that extra step, it really does show what type of a person that they are, and likely how they feel about you and what they think about you. So it is a positive indicator. However, it really does not mean that you would necessarily are going to be getting an offer or even an invitation to the next round of interview. It really just is simply showing what a great person the person that you reached out to is to begin with. Next is questions about salary and availability. Now, I did talk about that in a bit more detail in a video you can find right about there. And with this one, what it's going to come down to is really the timing. So, for example, really early on in the recruitment life cycle, you might be asked about salary and availability in a telephone screen. Typically, this would be done by the recruiter. When asked these questions in a telephone pre-screen, these are really just straight up questions that the recruiter wants to hear the answers to. It's not really any indication that they're ready to get an offer out to you. That said, if you're asked these questions, say in a final round interview, this is a much stronger indication that the organization is interested in potentially pursuing you further. This is especially true if questions about salary turn into more of a bit of a negotiation type of a conversation. And finally, is it a good sign if the interviewer brings up next steps? Well, again, this is going to depend. It's going to depend on if they're just simply bringing it up. A lot of times this is a common question that candidates will ask in an interview, so sometimes the interviewer is just anticipating that question and answering it. If, on the other hand, the interviewer is asking you what your availability might be, that might be a good indicator, but it's still nothing carved in stone. But a really strong indicator that you're going to be moving forward is if the interviewer actually intends on scheduling an interview with you or the next step with you while in the current interview. That is a direct sort of indicator that yes, you are moving forward in the process. So although there might be certain things that could indicate a positive outcome in the interview, again, it's really going to come down to sort of timing of some of the questions or some of the topics that are brought up. As a final thought, unless you actually have a job offer in hand, it's really important that you keep your job search active. Anything can happen during your job search journey where, if a position no longer is available, there's all kinds of different factors that can come into play where, you all of a sudden find yourself out of the running for a role, even in spite of any of these positive indicators that you might be receiving. Thank you so much for the great questions, guys. Please do keep them coming. If you have any comments, tips, or any questions of your own, you can leave them in the comments below. Or, of course, if you have any other video ideas, would like to collaborate, feel free to contact me. You can reach me on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. And, of course, for personalized advice, come on over to my website. I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!